Good, good. So when we're thinking about doing new stuff like this, like these little like techniques, these little angle changes and stuff, I'm going around and a lot of you know this already, especially you lot that have been training for a while. You know these little steps, you know how to change the angle and stuff, but I'm still having to go around and tell you little bits that you might have forgotten or that you might not know. The reason why is because we're learning stuff. There's two different like ways of learning. You learn a skill and then it's like, cool, right, I've learned it. I didn't know it before and I know it now. But then you haven't acquired the skill, which means you can't do it without thinking. We need to get to the point where you can do stuff without thinking about it. Like right then when I was going around and saying different stuff about your angle changes and some people are only moving 1 foot and stuff, that's because before they've learned the skill, but then they've thought, right, I've learned it, so I don't need to think about it anymore. It will just come natural. But it won't, okay? Because you need to rep it and rep it loads. When we get to the point where we've acquired a skill, it means that we can go boom, boom, and do everything perfectly without having to think about it, okay? So when we're doing these little drills, don't just do 1 or 2 and then switch off and not think about it. Every single thing, the only way we're going to get better is by thinking about every single detail and not just doing like, not just throwing the 1, 2, changing the angle, throwing it, coming back in and then just being vacant. Okay, what we want is, when we throw the 1, 2, right down to the basics of when you had your first session, making sure both hands come back to your face. Making sure when we push across, we're not just stepping. All these little things, we need to think about every single detail, okay? Because that's the only way that it's going to come natural. Because when we get into a ring and we're fighting, you're not going to have all this like time to think. All you have is what's going to come natural to you, because it's such a high intensity situation, okay? So, carry on again now, swap over to the other side, but actually think about every single tiny detail that you're doing. And slow it down if you need to, okay? Off you go.
Too fast, Charlie. Slow it right down.
Slow it right down so you get every